So it's been about 2 months since DMG said on Twitter that there was a roadmap for Destiny 2 coming, which would go over all the updates and fixes they're going to bring to the game to improve the condition of the game since the disaster of Edge of Fate. Since then, we haven't heard much about what's going to be in this roadmap, when it's going to come out. We got a small update a couple of weeks ago where DMG said that he's just trying to coordinate the teams, get some dates together so they can push out correct information when they release this roadmap. But ever since that, it's been radio silence about what the future of the game is looking like. I just can't help but feel like Destiny 2 is leaderless right now. Destiny 2 is in the worst state it's ever been. We just hit a brand new record low player number. Everyone was talking about low player numbers last week. Now we're hitting new lows again this week in player numbers. And Bungie is scrambling to put together a roadmap. It feels like leadership in Bungie is struggling to take up the mantle and the responsibility that is needed to steer the ship, to stop it from sinking. And so in this video, that's what I'm going to be talking about today. The state of the game, the lack of a roadmap, and how leadership is failing Destiny 2. But first, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Donkey and welcome back to another YouTube video. I'm trying to hit 1,500 subscribers by the end of the year, so if you enjoy my content, I'd greatly appreciate it if you hit the like button and subscribe button down below. But let's get into the discussion. As we all know, Bungie is in the worst state it's ever been in regards to player numbers, daily active users, and in general content and enjoyability to play the game with the release of the portal and all these other systems that came with Edge of Fate. And over the course of the past few months, the player number has been dropping steadily, and we are now at record low player numbers. This was information that we learned of last week when popularity.report came out and showed us how bad the player numbers truly are across all platforms. And now we are seeing an even lower low than before. And we're seeing games that Destiny 2 once towered over in regards to player numbers are now surpassing Destiny. We have a tweet from Paul Tassi saying, "I don't think I'm being alarmist when I say I don't think you can sustain a game like Destiny 2 with a player base smaller than the finals, still over a month until Renegades 2. And in this tweet, he has some images going over the 24-hour peak of these games, both the finals, which had a 24-hour peak of 14,000, and Destiny 2, which had a 24-hour peak of 13,000. Everyone talks about the feud going on between Embark Studios and Bungie right now, and Embark is winning. Surprisingly, we're seeing games like New World, who had a higher concurrent player number than Destiny 2, is being shut down next year after a round of layoffs at their studio. So we have Destiny 2, this massive game, which has like 500 employees working on it, which has lower player numbers than the finals and New World, and has an extreme overhead cost to its development. I can't help but be concerned about the future of this game and how this is going to affect Bungie going forward, because I can't help but feel like after Renegades, there's going to be layoffs at Bungie. Another round. We had the massive layoffs after Final Shape, which was a major success, by the way. And now we have the flop of Edge of Fate and the potential flop, most likely a flop, of Renegades. You can't help but feel like the future of the game is on thin ice. Where after Renegades, you never know if they're going to announce, maybe a shutdown of Destiny 2, or they're going to put the game in maintenance mode as they put more development time into Marathon or into whatever other project they want to work on besides Destiny 2. And so this roadmap that we're waiting on from Bungie, from DMG, is essential to bolstering community sentiment regarding the game and the future of the game. I cannot tell you how many people I've seen on Destiny 2 Twitter who are theorizing that after Renegades, the game is done. We know the names of the next two expansions, right? We know after Renegades, we're going to get Shattered Cycle and The Alchemist as the expansions after Renegades. But if Renegades flops, are we going to see those expansions? Do we have any concrete confirmation from Bungie that Destiny 2 is going to continue past Renegades? And that's why we need this roadmap. We don't just need to know what expansions are coming, because we already know that. We need to know what are they going to do to fix the game. in Curse of Osiris, right? That's what everyone's comparing Edge of Fate to, is Curse of Osiris, which I think is pretty fair, a fair comparison in regards to player sentiment and daily active users and stuff like that. When Curse of Osiris flopped and Bungie was 5 weeks away from closing the doors on Destiny 2, Bungie had emergency meetings where they would, put together a task force to tackle major problems in the game. They would get community leaders, fly them out to Bungie for these emergency meetings to say, what needs to be fixed now? What can we do to save the game now? What are the major issues that are happening now in order to save the game? And my apologies if I'm flashbanging, guys. My window's open. It's the middle of the morning. My apologies. I think Bungie is having these meetings right now. If you watch Astacross's streams, he's going to Bungie right now. He hinted at it, that he's going to go check out Renegades in a community summit this week, right? I think Bungie is probably trying. Bungie obviously doesn't want Renegades to fail, and they are probably in emergency panic mode. But it doesn't feel like it, because we're 2 months out from this announcement of this roadmap, and we haven't seen anything. Does Bungie even know what the future of the game is looking like? If in 2 months you can't come up with any idea of what the future of the game is going to be, how you're going to save the game from the disaster you're in right now? Okay, I fixed the flashbang, holy smokes. And when you look at how Bungie is struggling to put out this roadmap, it really seems as though the leadership at Bungie just isn't present, that nobody is steering the ship. You have all these different departments that might be struggling to work together to put together a workable product to save the game. I can't help but feel like this is like a byproduct of the Sony deal, where Bungie was bought for $3.6 billion and all the leadership was given these deals where they would get $50 million or whatever, which would invest over the course of 3 to 5 years if they stayed at Bungie. And so you have all these leadership who have the bag, right? They have the $50 million waiting for them if they just stick around for 3 to 5 years. And once they get that payout, they can just dip, right? Who wants to work anymore after you get, generational wealth like that, right? $50 million. And so you have these leadership, got this deal, and probably just put their feet up, chilled out for 3 to 5 years. Didn't want to deliver a good product because they didn't want to risk Destiny 2. They didn't want to risk the bag by delivering a maybe experimental product that didn't do very well, try to innovate the game. They wanted a comfortable, steady ride, 3 to 5 years, so that when they got their bag, they could dip. And that's not good leadership. That's not what you want in a leader, to say, listen, I'm out of here in 5 years, I'm just here for the money. You want somebody who actually cares, who's in it for the players, who's in it for their developers, who's in it for creating this amazing, innovative artwork, this amazing, innovative game universe that we really care about, not to wait for your $50 million check after 3 to 5 years. And now we're here. The game stagnated because no one wanted to innovate. Bungie leadership have left. Pete Parsons is gone. Luke Smith is gone. Mark Noseworthy is gone. All these people who got their bags are gone. We're in this horrible situation, and we can't even put together a roadmap that's telling us what the future of the game is going to be. And so you can't help but feel worried, right? That the game has no future. That after Renegades, Bungie's gonna say, it's done, okay? No one's playing. We're gonna put the game on a skeleton crew. Hope that Marathon cooks. And, Destiny, it's the end of an era. Destiny's done. Maybe they'll return to it in the future, but you can't help but feel like that when there's no roadmap. So Bungie, you gotta put the roadmap out as soon as possible. You can't wait, bro. Player numbers are dropping. Community sentiment is dropping. Apathy is set in. There's so many other better games to play right now that it's just not worth putting your time into Destiny when you don't know what the future of the game is going to be. That's what the problem was with Final Shape, where nobody played after Final Shape because nobody knew what the future was going to be. There was no announcement of a Destiny 3. The only information we had about future expansions was the whole Frontiers situation. And then when we finally got the announcement of the next 4 expansions, being Edge of Fate, Renegades, Shattered Cycle, The Alchemist, Edge of Fate flopped and pushed so many players away. And so now the remaining players are left holding the bag. They're left in this game that they care about that is just a sinking ship. And Bungie isn't steering the ship. They just don't know what they're doing. Leadership has taken the safety boats away. They're swimming to land while the player base and the developers are left in a sinking ship. So we need the roadmap now. We need to know what the future of the game is going to hold so that we can actually potentially be excited, have hope for the future, not be worried that the game is going to be sunset, be shuttered after Renegades comes out. DMG, community team at Bungie, developers, leadership, lock in, bro. We need this roadmap now. But that's all for me, guys, and I hope you have a good rest of your week. If you enjoyed the video, I'd greatly appreciate it if you hit the like button and subscribe button down below. But that's all for me, and peace out.